If you've ever heard stories of animals ending their own lives, you've probably wondered, can animals really commit suicide? It is a question that has haunted humans for centuries, fueling myths, folktales, and endless debate. From small rodents leaping off cliffs to massive whales washing up on shore, these behaviors look like intentional self-destruction to our eyes. But the truth is far more fascinating and far less tragic than we think. Nature never designs for self-annihilation. Every strange action in the wild has a purpose rooted in survival, evolution, or external disruption. Today, we're diving deep into the world of misunderstood animal behavior to answer one of nature's biggest mysteries. Why do some animals appear to commit suicide, and what's really going on behind these shocking scenes? Let us start with the most famous myth of all, the lemming. These tiny, fluffy rodents that live in the Arctic tundra are forever linked to the idea of mass suicide. Pop culture and old documentaries have led us to believe that lemmings march over cliffs in huge groups, drowning themselves in the ocean when their populations grow too large. It is a dramatic story, but it is completely false. The real reason for their deadly falls is a case of mistaken migration, not self-harm. Lemmings have explosive population growth cycles. Every few years, their numbers skyrocket beyond what the Arctic's limited food and space can support. When this happens, young lemmings are forced to leave their birth dens in search of new territory. The Arctic is a vast icy landscape with few landmarks, and these small creatures rely on instinct to guide them. Many lemmings encounter steep cliffs, fast-moving rivers, or coastal shores during their journey. They don't mean to jump to their deaths. They simply don't see the drop-off, or they retrying to cross a narrow body of water to reach the other side. Some drown, some fall, and it creates the illusion of mass suicide. The myth was even amplified by a 1950s documentary, where filmmakers manually pushed lemmings off cliffs to create a dramatic scene. This fake footage stuck in our minds, turning a natural migration accident into a worldwide legend about animal self-destruction. Next, let's talk about one of the most heartbreaking sights in nature: beached whales. Every year, hundreds of whales and dolphins wash up on coastlines around the world, some alone, some in massive groups. To humans, this looks like a deliberate choice to leave the water and die. But these gentle giants are not choosing death. They're victims of a broken internal compass and human-caused chaos. Whales and dolphins use echolocation and the Earth's magnetic field to navigate the world's oceans. Think of it like a built-in GPS that guides them through dark, deep waters for thousands of miles. When this GPS fails, they lose their way. Shallow coastal waters mess with their echolocation. Sound waves bounce off the seabed, confusing their sense of direction. Magnetic field disruptions from solar storms or underwater geological changes can also throw their navigation off completely. But the biggest threat today is human activity. Military sonar, shipping vessel, noise, and underwater construction create loud, disorienting sounds that damage whales' sensitive hearing and scramble their echolocation. They panic, swim too close to shore, and get stuck as the tide recedes. Even healthy whales can't reverse course once they reach in shallow water. Their massive bodies are supported by water in the ocean, but on land, their own weight crushes their organs. This is not suicide, it's a navigation disaster made worse by human interference in their ocean home. Now let us look at social insects like bees, ants, and termites. These creatures perform acts that look like suicide every single day, but they actually acts of ultimate altruism for their colony. Take the honeybee. When a bee stings an intruder to protect its hive, its barbed stinger gets stuck in the attacker's skin. When the bee flies away, its stinger tears out, along with part of its abdomen, leading to certain death. This is a fatal sacrifice, but the bee doesn't do it to end its own life. It does it to defend the queen, the larvae, and the entire colony, the only thing that matters in a social insect's life. Worker ants do the same. Some ants will clamp their jaws onto an enemy and hold on until they die, while others will explode their own bodies to release a sticky, toxic substance that traps predators. These actions ensure the survival of the group, even if it means the individual dies. In insect societies, the colony is a single living unit, and individual sacrifice is not self-destruction. It's a critical survival strategy built by millions of years of evolution. There's no sadness or despair here, just pure, unselfish duty to the group. Another strange case comes from parasites that hijack animal behavior, making hosts act in ways that lead to their death, but the host has no choice. One of the most well-known examples is the Toxoplasma gondii parasite, which infects small mammals like mice and rats. Normally, rodents are terrified of cats. It is a natural instinct that keeps them alive. But when infected with toxoplasma, this fear disappears completely. Infected mice become drawn to the smell of cat urine, walking straight into the path of a cat. This gets the mouse killed, and the parasite moves into the cat's body to complete its life cycle. The mouse isn't suicidal, it has a puppet controlled by a parasite. There are dozens of similar parasites in nature. Some make fish swim to the surface to be eaten by birds. Others make insects climb to the top of grass blades to be eaten by grazing animals. These are not acts of self-harm. They re-biological hijacking, where the host's brain is rewired to serve the parasite's needs, not its own. There are even more subtle cases that often go unnoticed. Some aquatic animals, like certain species of fish and amphibians, may swim into dangerous waters or expose themselves to predators when exposed to man-made toxins or polluted waters. These chemicals damage their nervous systems, disrupting their ability to sense danger or control their movements. Similarly, some bird species have been observed flying into buildings or natural obstacles at high speeds, not out of self-harm, but because light, pollution, and urban development blur their natural migration paths. These small, often overlooked incidents add to the long list of behaviors we mislabel as suicide, yet each one has a clear biological cause, rooted in environmental change or physical impairment. Even domestic animals can display behaviors that seem like suicide, leading pet owners to feel helpless and confused. Dogs or cats might stop eating, refuse to move, or wander into dangerous areas after losing a companion, an owner, or a familiar home. We call this grief, and it looks like self-neglect that leads to death. But animals don't understand death the way humans do. They feel loss, stress, and confusion when their social bonds break. A dog that stops eating after its owner leaves isn't trying to die. It's overwhelmed by anxiety and doesn't recognize how to care for itself. With love, care, and time, most pets recover from this grief. These are emotional responses to stress, not a conscious choice to end their own lives. So, after exploring all these cases, we come to a clear conclusion. There is no scientific proof that any animal intentionally commits suicide. Suicide is a uniquely human concept, tied to self-awareness, complex emotions, and the understanding of life and death. Animals act on instinct, emotion, and biological drive. They don't have the cognitive ability to decide to end their own lives. Every behavior we mistake for suicide is a piece of a larger puzzle: migration gone wrong, navigation failure, altruistic sacrifice, parasite control, or emotional stress. Nature is full of accidents and adaptations, but it never creates a creature that wants to destroy itself. The next time you hear a story about animal suicide, remember the real science behind it. These creatures are not giving up. They re-fighting to survive, following instincts forged over millions of years, or falling victim to forces beyond their control. The natural world is full of mysteries, but this one has a clear answer. Animals don't choose death. They live, they struggle, and they survive in ways that often baffle the human mind. Understanding these behaviors doesn't just teach us about animals, it teaches us to look beyond our own assumptions and see the true beauty and logic of the wild. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.